Welcome back. Again, I'm John Shepkoff. The question you might be asking yourself is, what is front loading? Well, front loading is how banks make their money. And if a bank tells you whether you have a real estate loan or a line of credit or any kind of real estate, 30-year, 15, 20 years, they don't front loading, they're lying. Okay? They're lying to you because that's how all banks make their money. So what is front loading? Well, for easy terminology for all of us, I'm going to break it down so that you really understand exactly what is front loading. When you borrow, let's say $100,000, you pay as promised. You always make your payments on time for the next 30 years, 20 years, 15, you name it. When you do that, that's how they do it. That's called the front loading. So if you borrow $100,000, when all said and done, you will pay that bank a total of what? $300,000. $200,000 is the amount of money that the bank puts into their pocket. Okay, so let me say it again. You borrow $100,000, you pay as promised, you're never late, okay? What happens is you pay the bank a total of $300,000, $200,000 goes to the bank's hip pocket. That's the front loading, that's how they make their money. We already know that banks are in business to make money. That's a fact, okay? Now the question is, here I'm going to talk about something, the front loading. Remember, now you know what front loading is. That's the money that the bank makes, okay? If you take that front loading, remember the example of $100,000, and the front loading is $200,000, which goes into what? Their hip pocket. That is what's called effective interest rate. Now that's the terminology that I use, that nobody uses out there. The effective interest rate is what? Is the front loading of the money that the bank owns. That's what they receive. So if you have a annual percentage rate, or I should say your interest rate is 6%, what is the effective interest rate? Now hopefully you're sitting down, and this is not to scare you, but I'm going to tell you straight. I want you to understand. The effective interest rate is pretty close to about 87%. Well, how in the world did I get 87%? If you take that $200,000 and you put that on top of the $100,000, which by the way, you're not giving that bank, you're not giving that to them all up front. They're dividing it up in small little payments, which is all the little payments goes into their pocket, which is called what? Interest. The $200,000 that the bank makes is interest, which is what? Interest is front loading. Front loading is what? Is effective interest rate. Effective interest rate equals the amount of money that puts into the bank's pocket. Now I want you to understand that is because banks out there and brokers and all these other people will act like they're not making any money. You and I both know that. That's not true. Just on a small tiny loan of $100,000, the bank will make over $200,000. Now, here's something I want you to be aware of. Never, ever, ever, ever be late on your mortgage. Why? Well, first of all, number one is, every time you are late on a mortgage, the bank will add, on average, 5 times the interest onto your loan. That's a fact. So don't ever fall for it. Here's the other reason why you need to understand that, and why do they add 5 times interest when you miss only 1 month and you're only saying, well, I only have a 30-day late. No, you do not. You don't have a 30-day late. In my books, when I look at it, you have a 60-day late. You're going, how is that possible? Okay, let's go back to when you buy your home, or you're going to be buying a home, or you're going to refinance, or you're thinking about refinancing. Here's something that's going to help you down the road. If you can do this, and you're smart, when you get a loan, now, if you go to refinance, you usually have a 30-day grace period. That's how we all do it. I'm a loan officer, okay? I also have helped out Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac when I underwrite their loans. The thing is this. If you can't afford it, you tell the loan officer or the bank officer or whomever, and you say, listen here, I do not want a 30-day grace period on my loan. So for example, let's just say we're in April right now. We're at the very beginning of April right now. And what happens is, let's say the loan, we're talking refinance, is going to be finished when? It's going to be finished in, let's just say, April 15th, tax time. How about that? Okay? It's going to be finished April 15th. When will your next payment be? Well, the way the banks do it is June 1st will be your first payment. Whether you're refinancing or buying, that's how it usually is. If you're smart, what you'll say to them is, no, I decline that. And what will happen is you'll have to sign some affidavit papers, and you're going to say, no, I want my payment to be May 1st. You're going to save yourself a lot of money. A lot. Okay? I'm now showing you, you can save yourself a tremendous amount of money. 30 days worth of interest, my friends. So you say, nope, I will make my payment on May 1st. Well, what's going to happen is you're going to have to sign what's called a hardship disclosure, saying that because you're making your payment on May 1st instead of June 1st, you have to sign a disclosure saying this is not a hardship. I highly recommend it. You do that because you will save a tremendous amount of money that you normally would be paying the bank's hip pocket. That's number one. Now that you understand that, when you bought your home or you refinanced it, did you do what I just said? No, most likely you did. Because first of all, you didn't know me, okay? But when I teach people, when they're doing get a loan, I always tell them, you sign a hardship saying you want to pay for the month coming up. And you just pay per diem the amount of days that it takes to close. So if you have, remember we said April 15th, you have 15 days worth of interest on the loan, and then you make your payment. So they collect only 15 days. So they're going to collect 15 days, and you're going to pay that. What does that tell me? Well, if you do it the way I just explained it, you are now almost 45 days ahead of schedule. That's right, 45 days ahead of schedule. Trust me, you're going to save a lot of money, and you're going to want to do that anytime you refinance or you purchase a home. Okay? They all do it the same way, but you have to sign a hardship letter, and you tell them that you are aware of it, and you say, and I'm being very adamant. In other words, you're saying I'm being very firm that you honor what I am requesting you to do. I promise you, you will save yourself a ton of money. Just that one little trick alone that I've just taught you about asking about that. Now let's go back to my scenario. Remember I said 30 days late, they'll add 5 days of interest. That's 5 days worth of interest per month onto the loan because you missed. Why? Now why can they do that? Because you're 60 days behind, remember? So never, ever, ever miss a mortgage payment. You just don't want to do that. And here's the other thing I want to show you is that if you do that, less pocket is going to go into their hip pocket. You're going to reduce that effective interest rate from 87 to maybe 80%, okay? Yeah, we know the interest rate is fixed, but we're talking effective interest rate that we want you to be aware of because you want to control what? You want to control what's called the effective interest rate, my friends. That's what you want to control. control the effective interest rate, and you can control the loan. And the only true way to control that is when you actually get my mortgage coupon program. It's the only way to control the effective interest rate. So never be late on a mortgage. And number two, always sign a hardship, either refinancing or purchasing. It's not a hardship, and you want your payments right away. Do not have them push it 30 days forward. This is how you're going to make more money going toward the principal. So again, I'm John Shepkoff. Please give me a thumbs up because I need all the help I can. And please, as you know, as you tell your friends and they come in and they get the program, guess what I'm going to give you? $100. So stay tuned. Watch the next one.